Right. So welcome back to anyone that was here previously, and welcome to any new participants that have joined us. So we would really like to thank you for joining us today and and as well for choosing to be part of this second session of the Azure Excellence Program, a program aimed at business decision makers, solution sellers, and also technical staff. So let's take a few minutes to look back at some of the content that was covered in the first session. We looked at what is Microsoft Azure, Microsoft's cloud. We saw cloud concepts and the differences between cloud models. We also saw how the cloud compares to on-prem physical installations and what should be taken into consideration when contemplating migrating operations to the cloud. We also saw what is Azure Virtual Desktop, or AVD, as it is more commonly known. We saw how AVD is similar but different from Windows 365. We also saw how AVD compares to RDS, Remote Desktop Services, or good old terminal server. As for today's session, if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat, but I would say more towards the end of the presentation because there will be a time for questions and answers. A lot of material will be shared with you today, and there's a very good chance that you will find the answers to your questions throughout the presentation as the information is shared with you. On the other hand, if we are not able to respond to you within the allotted time today, we will send you a response after the presentation. So don't hesitate to ask your questions, and we will do our best to provide you with an answer. If you have information to share with us or with the other participants during the presentation, please do not hesitate to put it in the chat. We encourage your interaction and participation during this session. So let's go ahead with this second session of the Azure Excellence Program because Sebastian, once again, has a lot, and I mean a lot of information to share with us. Sebastian, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, hi everybody. Thank you, Sylvain, for this introduction. So, just before starting our engine, gentlemen, can you just give me a thumbs up or something like that in the chat, or just let me know if everybody see my screen and they hear me correctly? Okay, sounds great. So again, hello everyone. I'm happy to be here with you today. First thing first, the English language is not my native language, as you can hear right now. So I will do my best to be not too bad with you, folks. So for some of you who don't know who I am an Azure technical specialist. I am like a pre-sales support. My role with ITCloud.ca, I'm acting as a bridge between sales and support department. I provide training, education, and sales support to partners. My goal is to assist partners for customer acquisition through technology. I'm here to explain, summarize, and simplify the practice and documentation of our manufacturer, Microsoft. So we will begin this second workshop together about Azure Excellence Program. So here we go. So event today, sit comfortable and grab a drink. There is a lot of material on our agenda. We will go through the next slide together to learn a little bit more about the sale and billing of Azure and AVD. For sure, AVD, pardon me, will be the core of our presentation. Sometime I do back and forth about Azure Global, but the goal will be AVD as well. The price, the saving, the tools, for sure we will have Azure Price Calculator X for AVD demo. And at the end, we will come back to the marketing material and training from IT Cloud and Microsoft as well. So, okay, the sale, how and who. The customer needs to understand the advantage, the gain, seize the opportunity. I like to make a comparison with the automotive world. The on-prem, which is the equivalent to the purchase, and the cloud, which is the equivalent to the rental, for sure. My example is always with my father. He needs to purchase a car. He doesn't plan to change next year's. It's a long-term vision for him. He's still waiting at home and hit the road only to go at the grocery at the corner of the street. Unlike me, I still have young children. In short term, I will need to change of model. During this term, I drive 7 hours to road to visit my father. So I still need warranty and service from my dealer and manufacturer. So our needs are totally different. We use different solution as well. The on-prem model still exists. There are reasons for that. PLC, CNC, big file, and many others. The customer could be afraid of the recurrency or the monthly fee from Azure. In my opinion, this negative argument should be transformed as a sale argument. It is easy to show and explain to the customer the potential of cloud billing models, to pay the right price, and to be flexible as well. Let's see here some of the other advantage for a customer from Azure pour le client, upper right corner. Sorry about that. I take note. I will change it in English as well. So first, access to the cloud infrastructure. Which kind of client type we need? For sure, as I said, someone who are able to understand the possibility about that. So we need to explain to the customer the lower initial expense. So this is no capitalization. This is operational. So this is not the same accounting vertical book. So this is completely different aspect and visibility about the money. Lattice on site migration, for sure, the customer can get rid and disconnect from the material, so he will be able to move around the globe, and each of those user will have the same experience, performance, security, and all of the option from Azure. So the redundancy and high availability. We have two Canadian data center, Toronto and Quebec. So we can move around the globe to get the data at the right place. And for sure, we are a Canadian Microsoft Azure distributor. We need to have a Canadian invoice, but anywhere, anytime, the customer can move the data to another part of the country or another part of the world. So it's not a big deal. Everyone can move the data, services, server to US or another country. It's not a big deal. The security, our backroll, conditional access, MFA, and many other. I don't need to spend time about that. Every one of you know about that. So this is a good point for the customer. Performance elasticity. Yes, we are not scalable. We are elastic. In Azure, we're able to scale in, scale out, and scale up and scale down. We are able to go far and go back. So this is the key point here. So keep it in mind. The second part about IT Cloud now. We will look here the reason, the advantage that the customer has passed through us, the distributor, through you, the reseller. When a customer goes with Azure to itcloud.ca, he will get this, the intro integration. This is a good point. Azure Active Directory and SSO. So the security will be better and easier for sure. Azure Virtual Desktop, Windows 10, 11, and Windows Server as well, available through Azure from us as a distributor, from you, the reseller. Windows 365, license integration, for sure, all the operating system and application will be dropped into the customer account, into the Mac, Microsoft Admin Center. So the customer will not be tied to you and us. If the customer move, they move with the license. We don't need anymore to open any software license, open agreement, blah blah blah. It's all into the same basket, into the Microsoft Admin Center. Very good from Microsoft has moved. Integration of software, suite, and services Office 365. Word, Excel, and Outlook, Exchange Online, SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive for sure. Management monitoring tool already integrated into the portal from us from Azure. You already have a lot of information with the matrix. We will see that in a few slides. From Azure, you will have information, graph, and information and data to keep an eye about the status, to make decision about the money and about the process. The billing model, so direct and direct, it's for us, and discount also. As a reseller, you still have discount from us, and we will have a discussion about the MPN programs also at the end. CSP support, reseller, distributor, and Microsoft. As we know, as everybody know here for sure, IT Cloud Services 5-star. This is the level we provide to you. So it's easy to understand from the customer. If the customer have a question, something wrong, we need help, they involve you. If you don't have any knowledge, practice, or something else, we can be involved from you. If we don't have the knowledge or something like that, we can involve Microsoft. So there is a chain of support from Microsoft at the top to the end at the customer. So the customer is not alone. There is a big teams behind him and you to support the deployment, the invoicing, and all other aspect around that. So the key point is you are not alone. We are here with Microsoft, the manufacturer also. A little reminder of what we saw at the first meeting. First thing first, when we start an invoice of machine, we start the subscription is always as pay as you go. You pay for what you get. It's easy to understand. So after that, the three other styles are available to fix and reduce the monthly payment. Reserve instance, the most common for the SMB. It's like a gift card gift certificate. We consume a predetermined product. The saving plan, pardon me, more suitable for the very large company. It's like a prepaid credit card. We buy what we want up to a maximum of price, money, investment, or other thing like that. Um, After that, what we have, the spot specialized for the test and work sequence. Could be also a good idea about the proof of concept under a commercial subscription. We saw that. We have some discussion about that with the reseller too. When we need to deploy an environment and we need to have it cheaper as possible. The spot feature is great to know also. Here, what we need to remember it is that the RI, the reserve instance, is suitable for the SMB. The most of the time, we can say all the time, the reseller activated to be the more aggressive regarding the price, to get the better price for the customer for sure. Just a note here, remember, in both case, and I need to be clear here, in both cases, we are talking here about commitment, reserve instance and saving plan. They are commitment between the client and Microsoft. So this is independent of the subscription, which means whatever happens to the subscription, by example, cancel it, the commitment of the reserve instance and the saving plan in the same way as the marketplace items, the customer engage another contract. The example I use about it, it's a bit like a car and the insurance. There is two joint services, but independent in the same time. By example, if I get rid of one, if I sell my car, I must don't forget to warn the second, my insurance. If not, the second still get money from my bank account. So take care about that. If you do something into the subscription, don't forget to adjust or manipulate the reserve instance, saving plan, and all other stuff like that. Um, Next one. Also, the Office 365 license eligible for AVD. We saw that from the previous appointment. So there is many type of license depending of the goal, the need of the customer. A quick reminder here, the hurriest queue is the Office 365 Business Premium. From this offer, we can install the Office suite in share installation mode, needed into the multi-user operating system as AVD and RDB as well. Exchange Online, SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive services, the right to access to AVD for sure, and many more of add-ons and security plugins like conditional access, MFA, and all the others. Um, Quick note, the access to the reserve instance and civic plan is on request. You must send us a request to enable it. The idea from Microsoft about that is block or restrict the access of the price and the visibility under the Azure portal. Keep in mind, all the price from Azure portal are MSRP. So if you want to have access to the reserve instance saving plan and the Microsoft cost tool also, we will see later in the presentation, you must request it to us to enable it because Microsoft protect you about that. This is a simple procedure. You open a ticket with us, probably, and any technician from the Microsoft department support with Carl's team know that, and few click of mouse, and you are ready to go about that. So yeah, blah blah blah. It's like that. Next one. Now let's see the how we can do that in the real world. So as we remember, when we start a machine, we are in pays as you go. Here, I want to do a kind of on the side, and just let me explain. So as we can see in the screen, I have two model of blue rectangles. So the pale one is for a VM normal, and the other is more for AVD. As you can see, there is tied between AVD, VDA license from Business Premium. So as we can see in the small upper right corner, the licensing from Microsoft Windows 10 and 11 license from multi-tenant hosting rights. I know this is not the same thing as the Azure hybrid benefit, but this is the way Microsoft imagined that. So what we need to understand here, when we spin a machine, when we deploy an AVD, don't worry about that. Microsoft take care about this weird behind concept. The check mark is already done when you deploy from the template, so you will not pay for the licensing. Don't worry about that. But keep in mind here, there is two concepts. So AHB, the Azure Hybrid Benefit, but for AVD is kind of different part. So this is the licensing part from Business Premium. How we can do that? It's easy. From your partner portal, from the cart, you select the good license you need, the good amount of user for sure, and you add it to your cart as usual, and you activate and assign the license as you know from the Microsoft Admin Center or from the IT Cloud portal as well. So you're able to deal with that and just assign the right license at the right place. It's easy, and you already know about that. The second part, the AHB for Windows Server and SQL Server also. Okay, there's an exclusion here. To activate the AHB, Azure Hybrid Benefit, for sure, the client with the software assurance active, for sure, from another enterprise agreement could bring those license and save money. Yes, this is a good thing. This is a little bit out of scope from us because the enterprise agreements are not under CSP vertical. So, but we are here to give you hints about that. We know the procedure. We never use it because this is out of our scope, but we know the procedure we are able to share with you. But anyway, so here we are. If you still have a customer with SA active, this customer can bring it in Azure and save money. Other than that, the best way is subscribe software from Microsoft, from IT Cloud, pardon me. So here we are. From your portal, you need to select the license of Microsoft, the good amount too. So provision from our portal, and voila, the license will be dropped into the tenant of the customer from the Microsoft Admin Center. But don't forget to activate the Azure Hybrid Benefit. As you can see behind the scene here, we need to click on the radio button to move from no to the yes to activate the Azure Hybrid Benefit. Because I know the license will be dropped into the tenant of the customer, but Microsoft don't care of. We need to advise Azure portal about this new feature. So we need to move from pays-as-you-go invoice to the AHB with this small window here. Eventually, if you need any support about that, every technician, myself, we know that. So just drop a call and we will give you hands about that. It's not a big deal. Next one, Linux. I know many of distribution of Linux is free of charge, but there is two with license. So Microsoft already invent the bring your own subscription. So you're able to check the mark and let's say advise Microsoft. We know that, so the price will be adjusted too. So it's good to know. After that, saving option. So it's easy to do. I already shared this information into the first appointment. So you navigate to the reserve instance tile and saving plan tile 2, and you follow the wizard and you apply the right size, the right amount, and voila, you have a discount. You have the possibility to save a lot of money about that. Again, the spot. When we deploy a virtual machine, you only need to click on the radio button and let's activate the spot instance model of invoicing. Again, remember the access of reserve instance and saving plan is still under a request, so you need to ask it from us. Next one. Let's take a closer look to the AHB, the Azure Hybrid Benefit. What is this? How do we activate all of this at IT Cloud? So, from Windows and SQL, in your cart, as I said from the previous slide, you must provision the required license with the right quantity. Okay, I mean, probably the majority of you already know from on-prem server, you must be activated or licensed from 16 core license. From Azure, it's half of is 8 CPU per machine. As we can see right now, we have 2-pack and 8-pack core. So the 2-pack are complementary. So you add on top 8 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 as needed, or 8 plus 8, or 2 plus 2. You decide about that. But the price is closely the same at few cents. So you must go with the 8-pack. It will be simpler for you. 1 year's contract and 3 years contract. So here we are. You must provide good amount of CPU compared to the license as you need. If, by example, you go with a DSV4, pardon me, the D4 DS4 V5, the 4 CPU, you will need at least 8 CPU. This is the law from Microsoft. So if you go with a smaller one, you need to pay 8 CPU at least. And after that, you add on the top only. Um, the license will be dropped in the Microsoft Admin Center, as I said, it's correct, under the billing your product section of the portal. So I mean on the left, when you navigate to the Microsoft Admin Center on billing your product, you will see there the license. Don't worry when you click on your product, there is a kind of lag. You need to wait 2, 3, 4 seconds to see the software product licensing. So don't worry about that. Just be patient and the license will appear by itself. There will be into a trust type of licensing. I mean, you don't need to handle them. No activation necessary except if you install by yourself. Yeah, you're right about that. But here we are under Azure and we don't install, we deploy. We deploy a template already pre-installed. So here we are, the license is already included into the template. So when you provide and purchase a license for and from the customer, the license is dropped into the Microsoft Admin Center, as I said, but under Azure, you don't need to do any Windows manipulation. Don't forget, you only need to check the mark into the Azure Hybrid Benefit configuration. Only that. Um, Here, a question will come to your mind because everyone probably already knows the image deploy under Azure are all Windows Server data center, like we see here from the screenshot. So Microsoft does not create any template from standard. So it probably too much complicated from any other reason. So I don't care. So the question is, does the standard edition is allowed under Azure to enable the AHB? The answer is yes, it is. So we are able, where is my mouse? Here. We are able to use the server standard edition from subscription from IT Cloud as well to be eligible to activate the AHB under Azure. This is the good news about that. The second question will be, do I miss something then? Yes, again. There is difference other than the price between standard and data center under Azure. Probably everybody knows too, the data center is a little bit more expensive, 7 times expensive compared to standard approximately. So the data center edition comes with advantage for sure, such as the split license. I mean, the possibility to divide the AHB rights over 2 VM. But the price is more than 2, so there is not a deal here. So the benefit will be there when the customer already have an active software assurance. At this time, it is possible to use the data center license on both environments. I mean, simultaneously on-prem and Azure. It's better now. So it's not a common scenario today with the SMB. So the client with the data center with active SA, we saw that by the past from a few years ago. But today it's not really common. But eventually, if you meet this kind of situation, let me know. I will be there to give you hands for sure. About SQL, the AHB is suitable for the bigger infrastructure also, bigger server. Not really for small server. For the SMB, the most of the time we go there by the pays as you go. It gives more flexibility to the customer, especially in managed instance. Another question will be, can a customer bring their own license to Azure? Except to the active software assurance? Unfortunately, the answer is no. License from other distribution channels are not admissible. I'm talking about Windows and SQL as well. So I will give you a small little tip. Under Azure, we talk about rental, monthly payment, annual payment. The perpetual word doesn't exist over Azure. Dot. This is the end. So it's simple like that. Sorry, I'm not doing the law. I'm here to explain only that. Sorry. Well, at the next slides, we will be focused on the next goal, bring us to the Azure price calculator. Here, we will look at how the pricing of the VM, more precisely of AVD for sure, how of the VM price works and the option associated to, for sure. Okay, let's start. When we spin up a machine, every time we begin from the pay-as-you-go model again and again. Next step, for sure, from a Windows server, we have the license cost, server, Windows, SQL, CALs, and other stuff like that. Plus, we need to add the infrastructure cost. Instance, storage, network, backup, VPN, IP, blah, blah, blah. It's the same story from on-prem. It's not very, very different. So everybody know how he is working about this part. The particular part here is from AVD. I will add a kind of overlay, the user access right from business premium and other license. So as we can see, this is a kind of over green. I just add the picture just up. So just to let you understand, this is a kind of overlay. We don't pay both, only one at the time for sure. So here we are from the licensing cost with a normal server, we are able to activate the AHB, as I said, software assurance, active, CSP subscription, Windows Server, SQL, Linux, blah, blah, blah. Correct. So here we are, and we can add the saving option, reserve instance, saving plan. So reserve instance is for instance as well. So it's easy to understand. The instance is here, so we activate that for that. We have other reserve type for bigger needs. By example, we have Linux backup and other stuff like that, but the is a little bit more expensive. So it's not a bad idea, but we need to have the money about that. But the most of the time, for all the time, the instance is there for SMB and bigger company too. Um, what about yeah, the license? As we can see, we already talked about the Windows license and the user license too. So could be two different parts. We need to take a look at that. So here we talk about the VD license from Office, because coming from with the installation and all other services like that. Keep in mind the sorry about that. It's supposed to be backup, not sauvegarde in French. I need to take note again. So sorry. So the backup is kind of optional. I don't like to talk like that, but this is not mandatory for the production. But keep in mind the backup is good thing to have if you need to do some recovery or other stuff like that. Move on. Oh, yep, the spot. Also, I forget about this guy. So the spot could be great again. So some thumbs up. So the AHB is good to activate. Reserve instance is a must too. Saving plan. I do a red down thumbs up. This is not a bad thing. Just keep in mind the policy of and the engagement is totally different. So there is no um, uh, sorry, I have a lack of memory in English. We are not able to reimburse the saving plan, so the policy is totally different. We'll have a close look about that in a few minutes. So yeah, so AHB saving reserve instance, good to have about that. Move to the next one. So we will look about the cost, variable, fixed, and progressive. We keep the same image. So let's see what's happened with the license. So the price will be fixed because, as we know, we already provide the license by business premium example or AHB. So we already fixed the price in the time. The instance could be variable if we still are in pay-as-you-go model for sure. So depending if the VM is up or down, because yes, we pay depending of the status of the machine. We will see that in a few seconds. So it depends of the usage. The price will be vary. If we go with a reserve instance, for sure the price will be stable. So it will be fixed during the time, and we will know in advance for sure. About the disk, I do some stare just to explain you. The price will be fixed, stable. But if you upgrade the disk, for sure the price will be. So it's why I do some step into the price just to show you it's easy to do that also anywhere anytime you are able to grow or to get a bigger disk. You only need to shut down, get a bigger disk, reboot, and expand the Windows partition, as you already know from on-prem with the Hyper-V and VMware. Sorry about that. Next one, the network. As we know, there is a maximum or a kind of line about the network. So the incoming traffic is free of charge, but the outgoing traffic, the egress, you need to pay for that. So by contract per machine, you have 100 gig per month per VM. So in the case of AVD, it will not a big deal. I mean, what is egress from AVD? Keyboard, mouse, and video. So it's cheaper. So Eventually, if the user downloads stuff, it's not a big deal, it's coming. If listen music, video, it's not a big deal, still coming. If the user is under a presentation like today, it's not a big deal. This is incoming too. But if the user activate or put on the camera and the microphone, oh, this is different. Those channel will be egress. But anyway, from Teams with the optimization pack, the process is compressed, so it's not a big deal. But here we are. Depending of the size, depending of the quantity of user per VM, 100 gig is always like that. It's per VM. 2 VM, 2 pack, 3 VM, 3 pack. So this is a kind of family pool. But keep in mind, 100 gig supposed to be enough. Sometime no. But anyway, it's only 11 cents per gig. So it's not so bad. But we need to keep in mind about that. So if we are under, we don't pay. If we overpass, we pay the difference. Only 10 cents per gig. Only that. Next one, the backup is progressive. I mean, by the beginning, the backup will be small, and again, the churn will be there, and we will back up more and more and more data. So it's why the curve is like that. So this is a progressive curve. So the question is, do I know in advance the price of Azure? Sometime no. So it could be vary, could be different, could be cheaper sometime. As expected, sometime no, could be higher. Depending of the usage, it's always like that. What is the price? It depends, always from usage. Next one, the end pack of status of the VM on the cost. It seemed to be simple, but it's super important. It happens to everyone to get faulty with this little concept. Because the question is, what's happened to the cost when the VM is down? Let's see together here two status to mean that the VM is down. As we can see upper right corner, there is three status. Running, I presume everybody know what's mean. Stop and deallocated. What the difference between? First, in the blue corner, the stopped status. What's happened with the state of the status? For sure, we pay. For sure, from my point of view, yeah, it's sure. We pay for everything. Why? The machine is stopped. Why we are still paying? The licensing fee, for sure, we're still paying because we already provide the license, HB, and other stuff like that. So it's provided by month. It's clear enough. The instance, oh, why I'm still paying? Because as we see, the machine stopped is not down properly. So remember from VMware and Hyper-V at the top of your title bar, you still have two bottom, stop and shut down. So here we are stop. The VM still electrically active, the instance still reserved for you. Reserved don't mean reserve instance. It's tied to you. It's yours. It's just in case ready to go. It's not an hybrid mode, not a hibernate, but the machine is ready to go. The host still connected to the disk and virtual instance. So we need to keep it in mind. So if you stop the VM, you still pay. About the disk for sure, because the disk is a reserved space for you. If you ask for a 1 terabyte of disk and you use a part of, you still paying for 1 terabyte. This is a kind of thick provisioning. It's not thin provisioning. You pay for what you're looking, not for what you're using. This is different. The network still active, so could be happen. You can have transit on your network card because the electricity is still there. And the backup for sure, you still pay for that because the backup data is still there, and this is only storage concept. The most of the time we saw that because the end user or someone connect directly into the VM with TeamViewer or any another remote application and hit the start menu and click shut down. So the operating guest system shut down, but the host, the hardware, is not aware of. So the best to do that is go to the Azure portal and click the bottom who said stop. You need to shut down. Pardon me. You need to shut down a VM. So this is not the same game. So go here, disallocated. What's happened during this time? Oh, okay, I got it. Okay. So first thing first, the license. If we are in AHB, we don't pay about that. We pay. Sorry, I just inverse. It could be the difference. Sorry, I need to know about that. So AHB, you still paying because you already have a contract for that. The reserve instance, yes, for sure. But pays as you go. No, you don't pay anymore because the VM is down. So the CPU and the RAM are not or no more connected to your VM. So you are good to go with that. So you save money. Reserve instance, no, because you already have a contract. Depending of the hour, it is no care of. So when you reserve in advance, the concept of hours disappear. We will show that into the Azure price calculator demo from into a few minutes. So don't worry. The disk you still pay for sure, because this is reserved space for you. Network card, yeah, we don't pay for that because there is no more electricity. And the backup, yes, you still pay. So the question is, can I save money when I shut down my machine? Yes, for some of those aspects. Exactly the same concept regarding the VPN. I don't have any screen about that, but the VPN gateway, if still open, you pay for. If you have connected user or not, you still paying for the gateway. This is the door open. So this is the same concept. Sometimes depending of the services or the resources, you need to pay or not, depending of the status of the VM or the services. So keep in mind. So conclusion, the most of the time we don't play with that. Anyway, from marketing aspect, Microsoft already do some homework regarding that. So if your VM is up and running more than 6 hours per day, this is the best strategy to go with reserve instance and all of the stuff like that. The hour payment, the pay-as-you-go model, it's good under 6 hours. The most common scenario is when we have a customer when he play with the virtual machine few hours per week, over a weekend, over a work day, something like that. But each day, some partner already configure some shutdown automatically and boot automatically. Sometimes works, sometimes no. So it's depend on you. If you like to receive a call at 3 a.m. when your customer is not happy to boot your machine, it could be a bad scenario. So our recommendation as distributor, go with the reserve instance and don't play with that anymore. Special note, don't forget the B family, the B instance. When you reboot your VM, you lose your accumulated credits. So the wallet of the credit go back at the origin, not at zero, but at the origin level of credits. So please, if you need to reboot the B family, do that by the end of the day to get nap time over the night. So to get some credits ready to go for tomorrow morning. But anyway, it's just a recommendation. It's depend of your usage for sure. Next check, billing now in detail. So as you can see, there is two column ready to go, the consumable and the reservation and saving plan. Because yes, from Microsoft perspective, they are different. And for us too. So what's mean? When you spin up an Azure plan with a subscription, first thing first, you will receive the first invoice. Here we are about the consumable, what you consume into the subscription, the pays as you go model. This is why it's coming. So here we are. Take a closer look about that. So as we can see, probably small to your screen. Can I just? I'm curious if I go there. Yeah, sounds good. Whoop. Can I just? No, it's bad idea. Sorry about that. Go back here. I don't play with that. So, okay, again. So this is the date of the invoice. As you can see, this is from January. But as we can see, the plan Azure is from December. Oh, this is post consumption. It's always like that. Is not a new design. So Azure, Microsoft always send to us the invoice 2 weeks after. It's always like that. We are always late. And ourselves, we manipulate the invoice for you probably 2 weeks after too. So you will receive always the invoice 1 month and something late for sure. But it's not a big deal. It's only for consumption. So it is in the past. But keep in mind the Azure plan, the subscription is from the first to the last day of the month. Is always like that from the NCE. Yes, the new commerce experience, famously. But anyway, so keep in mind, um, those invoice here is for two clients. So you have two part of the invoice. You have the PDSF, you have your discount, your markup, and you have the retail price. So if we go with a close look eventually. If we click on detail, we will see later what's happened about that. Let's talk. Here we are. So the same link here, the detail and the small dollar sign from the blue tile of Azure from Partner Portal bring you the detail of consumption. So you have the possibility to see it by the web, by PDF, and by Excel file to import your accounting system or other stuff like that. So here we are able to have a closer look regarding the resources, what is the price, what is the amount, and blah, blah, blah. So honestly, between you and me, the most of the time, when I give hands to the reseller to understand what is the invoice detail, reason, and blah, 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 I pass through the Microsoft uh, cost management tool, the MCT. We will see that later in the presentation, don't worry. But here, the detail on the invoice could be great. But the Microsoft cost management is more fancy, more deeper, yeah, more detailed, interactive, and other stuff like that. Next stuff, the reservation and saving plan. As we can see, there is two part of the invoicing. So yes, when we pass from the pay as you go to the reservation, the reserve is on another bill. So if you are under direct bill, it's not a big deal. So I mean, your customer will receive it directly. You are good to go. So correct. If you are in indirect, don't forget to addition or put together the both invoice to correctly invoice yourself, your customer. So here we are. If we take a closer look, you will see the anniversary date are totally different and independent from the Azure plan. Yes, it is. Take care about that. What's mean? When you spin up a subscription, the invoice date is already from the first to the last of the month. Independently, when you start a subscription, this is the same thing. You will be charged by day anyway, so you don't lose your money. But the reserve instance have a property anniversary date. So the starting point is completely different. So you can have stack invoicing. So take care about that and advise your customer. This is not an error. This is normal. This is from Microsoft. When you bring another contract, this contract have another anniversary date. It is normal. So yeah, don't be afraid about. A quick note for sure, the conversion. Yes, it is. So everything from Azure is under USD. So by when we receive the invoice from Microsoft, Microsoft already applied the exchange conversion. So when we give you, it's already converted. But what I need to explain here is if you bring another contract like the reservation, you already know in advance what is the price. The price is supposed to be fixed, and it is. But because the conversion US to CAD, each month you can have some variation, some fluctuation from the fixed price. Oops. It's weird, but anyway, this is the rule from the conversion. Few cents, few dollar, depending the size of the reservation. So don't worry about that. If you see some variation from reserve instance is normal. This is the conversion aspect from Microsoft, who they already do that from the invoice originally. Good to know. Next, family of virtual machine. Give me a sec. Here we just want to give you a quick knowledge. Let's see the table of family. With all the experience of our partners, it is easy for us to note that the D and E family are the most popular and how they are well adapted to meet the customer needs. I don't want to spend many effort about that, other than the most of the time D and E series are popular. D probably balanced ratio, so the main controller, the small database server, file, blah blah blah, some stuff like that. And the optimized memory, the E model, is more popular for RDS and EVD because the most of the time the remote application or remote desktop services, RDS or EVD, the customer is more memory consumption. So we need more RAM compared to the CPU, depending of the usage for sure. But the most of the time is more RAM consumption. Sometimes we're still seeing some B series for sure. Some partner already have good experience with that. Some others no. We still seeing server, RDP, and AVD as well on B series. The most of the time they are half price cheaper, so it's good to know to spin up twice time bigger. So could be great strategy, but we need to understand and advise the customer for sure. So could be a great strategy. Eventually, we can have a deep discussion together if someone have more information. After that, the F series, F family is less common, but sometime the M2 regarding the ERP and bigger SQL server, other stuff like that. Good to know. We have some NV again. So some customer already play with AutoCAD, Inventor, SolidWorks, Mechanical Desktop, and other stuff like that under Azure. Yes. Azure already have in Canadian data center some virtual machine with GPU from NVIDIA. So of course, those kind of machine are for particular design. By example, if we talk about mechanical piping, electricity, and other stuff like that, cool. It's plate work and other stuff. It's great, but we need to know we are limited by the frame per second, the FPS, through the remote desktop or AVD protocol. So it's like when you take a look about YouTube video in 4K, the screen is very sharp, it's crispy. The screen and the color is very great. But there is some laggy, choppy. You only have 60 frame per second. This is the deal. So when you want to play with walkthrough, rendering, and other stuff like that from multimedia or CAD or graphic? Maybe not. So we need to have a discussion each time about that, which kind of model of industry we're talking about, CAD or other media operation. Next one, the naming convention. Here, three little slides just to give you an extra info in order to know the why and how. Just looks more knowledgeable face on the customer to understand what is under the hood. So roughly the naming convention is clear enough. So we have the family, number of virtual processor, and after that additional feature as needed, and the version. So the example here is from the GPU kind. So this is the N series with V GPU 60 core AS. What's mean? The A mean AMD and S look to about the SSD drive. So there is a lot of other additional feature. I will let you take a look about that. Click on the link eventually to get more information. But roughly, this is the story. So here we are. The question with that is why V2, V3, V4, blah, 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 still active and available? Microsoft already have contract reserve instance with other customers. So the V2, V3 still be there. They are deprecated. We know that. So some customer need to change of. Microsoft already sent information about that. It will again and again. So eventually Microsoft always move forward and upgrade the hardware. So, but as you know, this is easy to do. You only need to shut down a machine, change of family, change of server performance instance, and reboot, and voila. So it's not a big deal to do this kind of move. Eventually, in a few minutes, we will see the user price calculator about all that. So how to play with the naming convention, how I'm supposed to be a superhero about that, how I'm supposed to do the job. We will see that. Virtual machine size. Okay, the question is how to scope a VM, especially when we talk about AVD. The same question is for RDS, obviously, for sure. Here, please note, we are a distributor. We are here to spread the good news, to share the good practice with you. So here we encourage you to read the Microsoft documentation. It's not a big deal. It's only a short read of 6 pages. Oops. And make your own test and conclusion. Because each environment are different, server and user never works in the same way. Where's my mouse? Here we are. We can see the Microsoft gives some recommendation for the single session for AVD, RDB, other stuff like that, and as well the multi-session. But when you take time to read that, is not really clear and it's not helpful. But honestly, when we do the Azure price calculator session, as we will do in a few minutes, the basic rule we follow is for an EVD with a light user, I mean Word, Excel, and Outlook, we are talking about a minimum of 4 vCPU per VM, 2 gigs of RAM of operating system, and after that, 2 additional gig per user. You only need to addition that by yourself. But the issue is there, the user footprint. How much RAM does a user need? The idea here is to think family as a pool of resource who will share. We know that there is always bigger user compared to the others. So you just need to make sure there is enough for everyone. Family pool like all other multi-user environment. But keep in mind, that is always case by case. You must always have a good discussion with the customer in order to clearly define the needs. It's always a kind of speed dating, and we will learn together with the time. Don't forget, it is flexible, elastic. So anytime, anywhere, we are able to move around that, change of family, change of performance, and other stuff like that. So, Mr. Customer, don't worry, you are not painted in the corner. We are able to change the motor, the engine, and go faster if we need. And we are able to do that many times per day. It's not a big deal. Next one. Azure price calculator. Here we are. Finally, we arrived to the piece of resistance from this workshop. So here we are at the Azure price calculator. We will see how to make an estimate price for a VDM environment. Yes, because we are a distributor, we don't talk about service proposal, but an estimate of price. Our role here, share the knowledge with you guys to train you, the partners. We will show you to use this tool designed by Microsoft guy who probably will not be my friend. I say that because from my point of view, there is a lot of room of improvement. All of this could be simpler. But anyway, my job here is for you. Make it easy to understand. This is not complex, it's only complicated. So let's roll is the showtime for the demo. Give me a sec. I will share my screen. I will try to don't break anything. Here we are. Where is the presentation? Please thumbs up, something, just a sign to just to be sure that everybody see my screen correctly. Okay, do. Thanks a lot. There we go. Perfect. So Azure price calculator. Where is my mouse? Here. So it's, as I said, this is an estimate of usage. So we will navigate together about that to see how and why we manipulate that. First thing first, I know that everybody asks me, so where are we not using the Azure Virtual Desktop tile? It's easy to understand. I know this is always the same thing, the same sign. We are SMB and Microsoft design the most of the time for the big enterprise. So as we can see, the number of the user is not the same story. And we are supposed to define the peak hour and off peak hour too. This is no making sense for us. So I know we are able to play with that and manipulate the numbers and to be very, very close to the easy trail we will see in a few seconds. So my recommendation, don't play with this guy. Is too much complicated for nothing. Let's see. Here we go. Delay that. And let's start with a simple virtual machine. We will have the hands on the wheel and we will know what's happened. For sure, I will have the talk with the Azure backup because yes, the virtual machine is under Azure, but we need to be sure data will be protected. We will already have a discussion about that from the first appointment. We have different methodology of backup or strategy inside or outside of the box. Here we will talk about inside backup and put the two eggs in the same basket. Go here, collapse and start the engine. Go here. First thing first, we need to decide the region. For sure, in Canada, we have two data centers, Canada Central, Toronto, and Canada East, Quebec. Remember the difference between all Canada East component are into Canada Central, and this last one already have more than that. So the NVIDIA GPU and the ZRS, the zone availability, and also remember all sponsorship subscription, MSDN, MPN, non-profit, and all other stuff like that are available only under Canada Central. It's easy to understand. Tomorrow, if you spin up a sponsorship subscription under Canada East, no providing is effective. You are not able to achieve your goal. There's always an error message, something like that. But it's simple to understand. But just go back, delete and redo again in the under the Canada Central. So here we are. How we are supposed to decide between. This is the distance, the latency between your customer and the data center. So select the data center close to you. So easy to understand. Canada Central could be great. Anyway, the price are normalized between. So between Canadian data center, there is no price supposed to be different. Microsoft supposed to fix it. We will continue here. Operating system. Yes, it is. I will configure a Windows server. But anyway, don't forget, this is Azure price calculator. So I don't configure the machine here. I only configure the grocery list for my girlfriend. So this is only that. So I select the Windows. Here, type. I don't. Oh no, 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 please. Gosh, sorry. Azure price. It's always happen. Azure price calculator. Sometimes happen is real world. Can I continue where I was? Yes, thanks a lot. I need to take care of my finger. This is my keyboard. Okay, just kidding. So continue here. So I don't plan to, come on. I don't plan to use BizTalk and SQL. No, just for your information, what's mean if I click on this guy, the price about SQL could be included into my price estimation. But I'm talking about AVD today. I'm not going into this direction. So OS only. I don't play with this guy and no with this guy too. So I mean, they are only filtering, but this is my point of view, different as different way from different technicians. So it's not a big deal. Okay, where is the showstopper? Is from this combo box here. It's amazing. It's always like that. There is too many model. What I'm supposed, I'm crazy. Don't worry about that. It's so simple. Keep in mind, as we said from the beginning, there is two family more popular, D family and E family version 5 for sure, the last generation. So this is this is not this is a recommendation based on our discussion and story and historically from the reseller. So the most of the time the common server will be under D series and AVD RDREST SQL and other style like that could be under E, but you can play with the other. It's not a big deal, but could be simpler for your beginning with the Azure price calculator and Azure environment. Conclusion, go here. With the D series, scroll down to DSV5, as I said. Boom. Let's talk about our maybe scenario today. Maybe I can talk about, I don't know, maybe 5, 10, 15 user. Let's play with 15 user. Could be great. So 15 user, I only have to play with AVD because I plan to go with Azure Active Directory. Name it now Entra. So I don't need any domain controller. I don't need any file server for sure. I will play with SharePoint, Teams, and OneDrive to store my data, enterprise, and stuff like that. Oh, I have a accounting system. Don't worry, I will connect a hard drive to my VM. So Acomba, Simple Comptable, Dynacom could be under the C drive as we know from on-prem strategy. So this is the same stuff. So, okay, perfect. I'm ready to go. So let's play with that. So as I said, I need to have 4 vCPU of VM. I need 2 gigs of RAM for operating system and 2 gigs per user. So I'm not very a good guy. So 30, 32. So I need to play with 4 CPU and 32 gigs of RAM. Let's see what inside where we can go about that. Oh, bingo. Boom. 8 CPU and 30 gigs of RAM. I'm not about to play between the row because this is the design from Microsoft. So I need to play with the already provisioned template about the power or instance performance. Okay, what I have here? 8 CPU, 30 gigs of RAM, 79 cents per hour. Let's play with the E series. What I'm able to find out. Do. So what we have here, 216, too small, 232, too small too. 432, could be great. I have enough RAM, but CPU, I'm not sure of. So depending, as I said from few seconds ago, we only always need to have a good discussion with the customer to know what is the needs of the performance. So for user, 10 you sorry, I start again. 15 user for 8 vCPU could be great, depending of the usage. Word Excel Outlook could be great. Accounting system or another platform or research web or PDF or something like that could be too less. Maybe I can go with 8 CPU and 64 gig of RAM, and we can see, oh, the price is a little bit higher. Okay, for this design, my recommendation could be go with the D series with the smaller one proposition and be prepared yourself. Already play with this guy here and already be ready to propose it to your customer. You know what, Mr. Customer? See here, the smaller one, probably too slim, too tight. But you know what? If you need, see then we already know the price about. So we will know what we hit on the road eventually. Could be a great strategy. But here today, let's play with the DSV5 series to have a good price about that. So here, 8 CPU, 32 gigs of RAM. So here we are. We'll have one VM, 730 hours per day. So this is Only how many days per month. This is the deal from Microsoft because this is hourly rate, but you are invoicing per month. So it's why Microsoft just play with that. So as we know from a few slides ago, if I go down with that, I am adjusted. The price is realistic about that. But as I said, the majority of the time, if your VM is up and running more than 6 hours per day, don't play with that. Make me pleasure. Go with the reserve instance. And you know what? If I go here and play with this little guy here, see what's happened with the hourly rate. Boom, disappear. So as I said, the hourly rate disappear when we play with the reserve instance. So you pay in advance your room. You are there or not, you sleep or not, you already paid for that. So don't worry and make it happen 24-hour a day. Your server is always up and running. Okay, small story here. Remember, saving plan, there are no cancellation policy. The rules of engagement are different. So we don't recommend that right now about that right off the bat. So we recommend about the reserve instance and yes, 3 years reservation. I already hear some comment about that. You know what? 3 years is a long-term contract. I know. Go deeper about the Azure documentation. Just take a look about the refund and exchange policy about the Azure reservation. Scroll down at the three-quarter of and take a look about the refund policy. Read with me. We are currently not charging an early termination fee. You don't have any balance, no termination fee, no limitation about that. You know what? When you spin up a reserve instance tomorrow, 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months after, you want to get rid about, it's easy. Just tell us, just open a service request ticket and let us to know who and why and where. And 3 click of mouse later, you are disconnected of and you are refunded provided by the day. I know Microsoft could be have a 12% of early termination fee. I don't have any crystal ball. I know that. I always ask about that with our Microsoft representative. By the past, 3 years ago, it was the same song. Could be happen, might be at 12%. But during this time, the saving plan appears, and this one don't have any refund policy. Oh, so there are two different products. So our recommendation as distributor, day one, if you are comfortable with that, go right away with a reserve instant. The discount is there, and there is no cancellation policy. I know tomorrow, if we have a customer together with this level of agreement, we will have another discussion anyway. But don't be worried. We do that many times per week, cancellation for different reason or exchange as well. One point, um, as a distributor, you connect yourself into the Azure subscription with the global admin credential provided into the subscription of the customer. So you're able by yourself to spin up, bring a reserve instance. But if you want to exchange and cancel under the CSP worlds, we know we are only the guy where we are able to do that. Only the distributor could exchange and refund a reservation. So make me pleasure, just open a service request. Any technician from the support team with Carl will be happy to assist you about that. Few click of mouse and you will be free of charge after that. Go back to the Azure price calculator. So here we are. So we go with the reserve instance, 3 years. And as we can see, the price is very big about that. So pay as you go to reserve instance, boom, the price is adjusted. Next part, I know. This is the second reason why the engineer from Microsoft is not my friend about that. Here, from my point of view, we are missing something, AVD radio button. Because we know the license include is reference between the size and the license of Windows. But remember, we are talking about a VD. The business premium already include the VDA license, so we don't need to pay about that. So the deal is here. We need to get rid of this price. To do that, we need to activate the Azure Upgrade benefit. I know this is not the story about that, but this is the tool what we have to achieve this goal. So click on that, boom. The price is adjusted, and voila, the realistic price of the VM we have. We are good to go with that. Next step, the manage disk. Don't play with the standard HDD. They are a spindle model. We are talking about AVD. We are talking about production. Eventually, if we want to talk about storage or archive, I will have another Discord about that for sure. But today we are talking about AVD. So don't play with standard HDD. Standard SSD, don't touch that for sure. There is storage transaction limitation. It's for IoT, SQL, Oracle manipulation, other stuff like that. It's not for AVD, file server, and other. So please make me pleasure. Click on the premium SSD. So the transaction storage disappear by itself, and you will need to select size and performance. Only that. Premium. Sorry. Premium SSD V2. We are not talking about that today. It's only for AVD. There's too. This is too higher for us right now. The price and performance. So go here. So we let it in LRS. We are talking about local drive for AVD. We will invest this part later. Here we are. We need to decide size the disk. The minimum for AVD is 128. This is the other question. What is the footprint of a user? How much space I need? Remember, what is the footprint of the user? The desktop, the garbage bin. After that, we have the my document. We have temporary internet file and blah, blah, blah. So we are talking about Azure. We are talking about AVD. And for sure, we will play with SharePoint, OneDrive, and Teams. So all the corporate stuff supposed to go with SharePoint. All the personal stuff, my home folder, the end user stuff supposed to go on OneDrive. Teams, the same thing for collaboration stuff. So what stay back? So the desktop, okay, perfect. Not supposed to big. The garbage bin, please make me pleasure and do some house cleaning sometime. So the temporary internet file and all of the stuff not supposed to be there. So then, sorry, the internet file will be cheaper, but all the personal stuff not supposed to be there. So the footprint is supposed to be light. So depending of the usage for sure. The other question about that, okay, but where I'm supposed to put or hold my data with my accounting system? The VM will have a disk. We will install and let it is as we already done from RDP on-prem. So we install, configure, and share the folder from the operating system. So it will be the same story. So it's not a big deal. So here we are. The disk supposed to be smaller one because you are not supposed to store any extra file garbage. So my recommendation, start with a smaller one because yes, anywhere, anytime we are able to grow or get a bigger one. And this is the same story from on-prem. I mean, you are able to shut down a VM, grow up the disk, or boot again the VM, and expand the Windows partition. This is the same story. So easy like that. But keep in mind, you are not supported to go down, to strip down the disk. So the downsizing is not supported. It's feasible by your own, but it's not supported from Microsoft. But to get bigger is supported, and it's clear enough and easy to do. So probably for 15 user, okay, probably 256 could be great for 15 user. So don't forget to add the disk. Everybody do that, so we had it. We don't talk today about the snapshot because I will have a talk with backup in a few minutes. But roughly, if you do manipulation and upgrade, just let know the customer. And you know what? I'm doing a snapshot. I'm doing a modification. 2024 next hour, let me know if something broke or not, and I will remove the snapshot. Exactly the same thing on on-prem with Hyper-V and VMware. The bandwidth. This is the question. As I said, by design, we have 100 gig of outbound egress data to come from Azure to go to public internet. So this is already included. And after the fact is, oh, sorry, I missed myself. We are supposed to go in Canadian dollar, not in US. As I always said, everybody forget about that. Oops, click. Hey, voila, perfect. So here we are. It's 11 cents per gig of more. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's good to know. And always the question is 100 gig, this is enough? Probably yes, for sure. Remember, we talk about EVD. So what is EVD? Traffic egress. We talk about keyboard, video, and mouse. So it's cheaper. So eventually, if someone download video, music, listen, or watching the TV, it's always downloading. So it's only outbound, it's only egress traffic you are charged of. So if you are under 100 gigs, you are free of. If you need to get more, you will pay month by month. It's only by consumption. It's like your old cellular provider. This is exactly the same way. So here we are. We have the price for the machine by itself. Let's continue about the backup. So where is the backup? Oops, sorry. Canadian, Central. We will talk about Azure VM for sure. We are able to do something else, but this is Azure VM today. We talk about one VM and the size of. Remember, I select 500 and blah blah blah. Keep in mind here, I will pay that eventually for 500 of storage, not for our drive. What's mean? Tomorrow, my disk have a specific size. I hope so. I will be empty at half, so I don't use all the space of the disk. First backup will be compressed for sure. So the first day of backup will not be full charge because I don't use all the space as need as planned. So here tomorrow, the price will be like that. After tomorrow, next week, next month, blah, 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 and up to my estimate size. The next question is, okay, but what's happened after? What's happened if I need more space, if I extend the drive? You know what? This is the same story. The storage will apply by itself. It follow the game. So it's only for storage. This is not the size of the disk. This is the storage you need to protect. Only that. So here we are. This is the worst case scenario, Mr. Customer. When the disk will full, it will be the price. If you grow up, the backup will grow up with you too. Backup policy. The default backup policy is $30 per month. Make me pleasure. Keep an eye here. $90 per month. I will play 7 days, 4 weeks, 12 months, and you know what? 10 years. So here the price of is double for sure. But see here the sequence of the backup policy is roughly different, is more robust for sure. So depending of the size I need, the price will be adjusted. Oh, sorry, I'm not weird. This is supposed to be here. It's not the double. It's few dollar of more. Sorry about that. I'm a little bit distracted about that. So here we go. So as a distributor, again, we are not here to. We are here to give you recommendation, to let you know how and why, but it's your responsibility to have a good discussion with your customer. What is the backup policy needed? If your customer work with other company, with the cities, with the government, so what is the need? But so yep, so have a good discussion and play with that as you need. For the exercise, I will come back to the origin just to have a simple story. So here we are. Next step. Written instant restore snapshot. The other reason why the Microsoft guy is not my friend. This is too much complicated for nothing. Here we have a data center. We have the cold section and the hot section. So front of the data center, the server and the connected disk is there. So when I'm doing a backup, the image is located into the hot portion. After that, the backup is moved to the cold portion. By design, if I have 30 version of, our recommendation is move this number from 1 to 5. What's mean? We will have 5 version here and 25 here. So what is the goal about that? To have instant restore snapshot. There is no impact about the quality of the backup. It's about the speed of the recovery. Instant restores. This is the fact here. So what we want is have the possibility to have maximum 5 version here. Why 5? If we take a look about the calendar, probably Sunday, Friday, and Saturday. Just imagine you have a customer and the shop is close to the 5 p.m. 6 p.m. there is a failure, there is a virus, there is something wrong. But anyway, the backup is corrupted for any reason. Saturday, same thing. Sunday, same thing again. Who will be unhappy on Monday morning? The customer. The customer will ask you, please restore fast as you can. Our recommendation is here. You will be happy to still have two other restore version, fast access to recover. Because we know that when the customer has us to the recover, it's for yesterday. It's not for tomorrow. So for a bigger container, bigger disk, the time to come back to the cold part and be rehydrated to the hot part to be restored, you need to wait about that. So we don't play with this by God here. So we want to have a written instant restore snapshot. Sorry about that. The second question will be, okay, but what is the price about that? Remember, I have 500 gigs, one snapshot. See here the price. What's happened if I grow up to 5? Roughly, it costs me more time of explanation to put it in configuration. So the most of the time our reseller play with that on by design. This is not a discussion with the customer. It is by design from backup policy of the reseller to have the better services. Same thing to the other part, the daily churn, stay at moderate, because if you go low and you play high, you will have charge about that. So go here, moderate, and redundancy. This is the other part of the game. If you play into the same basket, if you play with your server and backup into the same data center, no redundancy, the price will be adjusted about that. For 500 gigabytes, we have this price. If I configure the geo-redondant, it means you move your backup to the other center, Canada Central, vice versa, Canada East. Boom, the price is double. Makes sense. You have two data on the left and the right. This is the other part about the reseller policy. The most of the time, nobody is aware about that. This is the basic design from reseller. So, yeah. So here we are. We have 30 days of backup policy, and here is the price about that. So collapse this guy and collapse this guy, and here we are. We have the estimate. Next step, I always export this and play with Excel. Boom. Enable editing. Here we are. Make me some place to play. This Excel file could be your base for your proposition or another aspect with your customer. But here we are, we have the estimate from Microsoft. It's yours, it's your file. So we have the VM, we have the backup. We need for sure, we need to add business premium license as we need because we're talking about EVD. We need to talk about the backup from AvePoint as you need. The two contract is available, 5 and 95 and 3 and 95, depending of the need. OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, blah, blah, blah. And also, if you need any other extra services, probably your customer don't want to go with the backup with Azure, you can go with Acronis as backup and other stuff like that. So here we are, you have some place to play with that. So roughly here, we have the price, we divide it per user, and we have the monthly fee per user to get the infrastructure. So this is the start point to have a discussion with your customer. Here I will try to don't broke anything. Where I'm supposed to go, show stop, okay, and go back here and select again my file. Give me a sec. Where is here? Azure, Excellence. Here we are with the 3 in English as well. Attach. And I resume slide 16. Here we are. Let me know, just a little thumbs up, please, if everyone still seeing my screen. Thanks a lot, folks. So we will continue. Here we are. Here's a price calculator. Recap DSV5, ESV5 most of the time. This is not mandatory, but it's our recommendation based on our discussion and historic with the reseller. Next one, let's come back to the PowerPoint. Next tool, we will look at sale and technical documentation and the TCO calculator. So virtual machine series, I drop here the link to the sale and technical. We can have a closer look about configuration, specification. Some customers sometimes need to know how much hyper threading, what is the number model of the CPU and other stuff like that. So it could be great to know. So you are able to share with that some extra information to be more knowledgeable about your presentation or about your proposition. Next one, the total cost of ownership, the TCO calculator. Honestly, I already played with that once. It's a great tool, but again, this is a tool for the bigger company. This is a good way to understand how is impacted, where is coming the price, and what could be some argument with the reseller regarding the electricity, security, server room, and other stuff like that. So it's good. My recommendation: do once. Let's play one time with that and make your brain up to date about that, and just get some knowledge and words about that. Could be great, but only once, and after that you will be ready to go. It's not a big deal. The advisor is your friend. Next one. What I need to share with you here. I say that like a joke, but seriously, this should be your starting page, your home page from the Azure portal. I mean, the advisor, it's a bit like the IT doctor of Azure. It is here to give you advice and recommendation about security and other stuff, but about cost from saving plan and reserve instance as well. Where is my laser point? So here, as we can see, it's small, but we have a recommendation about reserve instance and saving plan. So make me pleasure, when you connect yourself into Azure subscription, start with the advisor to see what's happened regarding the cost, security, reliability, and all of the stuff. This is a good point of start to have a good comprehension and visibility on subscription. You will find time and money about that. More precisely here, I want to talk to you about the orphans, the disconnected object. It's happened too much time. So it's by the past, we saw that many times. Today, it's maybe rare, but you need to understand by the past, when you spin up a server, there is connected device, disk, NIC, and IP, and other stuff like that. And by the past, when we delete a server, the checkbox was not there. Who said, do you want to disconnect and delete the dependency? By the past, there is no answer, question about that. So sometime we connect with the reseller and we saw that orphan device and services. It's not a big price, but one, two, three, $10 per month. You know what? We make big money with some part of the dollar per month. So pay attention with that. Sometimes some customer spend money through the window for nothing. So, and this is a good point too, to see some snapshot when we saw some technician activate a snapshot and forget it for a few days, few weeks, this is the window where we saw that. So this is a good point. So make me pleasure, start by advisor window when you connect yourself. This is only one click of mouse anyway, so it's not a big deal. Available from the overview and the matrix section of the portal. The matrix, we have access to a lot of information to know how the VM are, CPU, RAM, storage, speed, usage, and all of the stuff like that. We need to make a decision to our performance. We need to orient a money decision too. So we are here to see what's happened with the VM. By design, we have a lot of information, graph, data, and other stuff like that. If we pay from the aid side, you are able to see other stuff. But by the base, what I mean is you are enough information to have a good visibility and make a good decision. It's easy to see right there if there is some nap time from the server, if you are able to scale down or identify an issue with the hard drive. By example, when we saw too much IO on the disk, we already know the size of the disk is tied to the performance. Yes, we are able to manipulate the performance too. You are able to get a higher performance level with the same size, but this is the point here. We are able to see if something wrong with the pipe connected to. So yes, when you have some issue, the first reaction. So take note and go to into the matrix. Another part, Microsoft Cost Management Tool. A tool that I use on daily basis when I help the part to understand the invoice and justify the cost of Azure subscription. With this tool, it is easy to highlight information who justify next unexpected cost of a run, for example. Also from the IT Cloud portal, the blue tie with the dollar sign, as we saw from a few titles ago, we are able to trap some information. But honestly, the most of the time we work with the cost management tool is more flexible, it's more fancy. We are able to drill down, is interactive. We are able to see by day, by month, or escalation, or other style of manipulation of the window. So it's a great tool. Which bring to you the consumption report, which I saw previously. Remember, the access to the Microsoft Customer Tool, reserve instance, and saving plan are under request. So make me pleasure, build yourself starting point procedure or something like that. When you spin up an Azure plan with IT Cloud, make it happen. Just open a service request and ask us, please activate the reserve instance saving plan and the access to Microsoft Customer Tool for this client, and everybody from the Microsoft Support Tool with Carl will be happy to assist you about that. Next, what? Yeah, the blue tile and with the dollar sign about that as well. Here again, my speech will be based on good practice, tool and services that our dear manufacturer make available for us. From our daily discussion and feedback from you guys, the partners, we merge all those subjects at the same page. The good practice allow you to be proactive, more efficient, and safer for sure. First, the reservation utilization alert could be great to configure. If something wrong with the utilization of the reservation, you can receive an email. By example, the most of the time, the reservation size is tied to the instance, and somewhere someone somehow modify the size of the instance, change the family, by example, from the D or to the E or another family. And after that, the 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 reserve instance is no more connected with the right size. So the reserve instance is no more acting. So remember, when a machine is no more connected to reserve instance, the billing invoice come back to the pay as you go. So you will pay twice. So it's already happened. So the customer paid the reserve instance for nothing. He paid for the room and don't go sleep there. So it's very important. So take a look about that and configure the reserve installation alert. So this is money speak. So this is very important. Proximity placement group. This is efficiency for low latency requirement. So roughly when we have more than one machine, you want to have the less latency as possible. You want to get both machine, both 345 machine close together. You don't want to spread your machine on different um, part of the data center, depending for security aspect for sure. But for proximity, for performance, could be a great idea to configure the proximity placement group. Handsets of delete. There is a function from backup. When you delete a backup, there is a soft delete. The backup is there for a few days. So this is a kind of last chain of access. Could be great. This is there today. I think so by default. Multi-user authorization using resource guard could be a great feature too. Just to when we play with many member on the wheel, we never know what's happening exactly. So it could be a great idea to activate this feature to be more secure for your customer. Immutable vault could be great point too regarding the security for your customer. So you are able to protect the backup data by blocking operation that cause a loss of recovery point or something like that. So those strategies is good to know, good to implement. Is yours. You decide is not mandatory, but could be great to implement, as I said. Marketing material from IT Cloud. For sure, we have the blog section. So you can click on the link and see the last blog from AVD. Many times. We have our success partner team work about that. So from AVD, yes, we only have once, but we have other blog about other subject for sure. Documentation, you are able to see by yourself what is the general documentation from our website to share with your customer. Just bring yourself your knowledge and prepare yourself to a presentation into your partner portal, marketing, downloads, and advertising. You still have access to publicity, vlogs, and other stuff like that. The partner teams, our Jean-François is there to help you to manipulate vlogs and to make it beautiful for you. After that, from Microsoft, you have access to some webinar regarding Azure Virtual Desktop. So this is the core of the appointment here. So you're able to see that for yourself, some information, great to know from Microsoft. Documentation, there is some information from the partner portal. So you can read a lot of information about that. There is some recommendation to migrate and modernize Azure Virtual Desktop. Okay, I will be honest, the majority of the time is for the bigger customer, but we are able to trap some or get some information for smaller one for the SMB. The rules all are always identical for everybody, but the concept need to be low or high, so you need to make your own idea and decision about that. But this is a good reading too. Training material from IT Cloud, from ITCA. For sure, ITCA, IT Cloud Academy is there for you. So there is a new functionality with Silbert. So I will invite you to get contact with Steve and Noel about that, or just read from our portal to get more information to play with the Academy of End User. Could be a great opportunity for you to get more knowledgeable your end user and your customer. Also with the webinar part from our partner portal. So as you know, you still have access to the old webinar. You are able to click and just listen the old version from myself, from Carl, and all other Steve by the past. And next one, Rumble. We are now on YouTube. This is a scoop. A part of. I'm joking. So, just a note. You was not there at the first appointment. This is not a big deal. The recording can be found here on YouTube, and many other are coming for sure. So as you can see, the program Azure Excellence French and English is there, so you're able to click on that and listen by yourself. We build and we think about those presentation to be split, so you're able to read or listen in the good order or in the other, so back and forth. This is not a big deal. There is two different information, so you're able to start by the end and finish with the beginning for sure. And as you can see, there is more and more presentation. Our team work hard to move and include all the others presentation on this channel. This channel is called to grow up again and again. Next one. Training material and certification. For sure, from Microsoft, you still have access to the Learn section, the old fashioned of docs. So you have a lot of information. We pass all our day about that to read, to understand, to get more information. So this is our base to on daily tasks for sure. The training section, you have introduction for Azure Virtual Desktop. I recommend to you to go on this way if you have some time. Could be great. Microsoft do or apply some upgrades some of the time. So this is always up to date. So this is a good point to you to get better understanding maybe. The exam and the certification, Easy 140 and Easy 104. This is maybe not a piece of cake, but this is good to know and good information to have, depending of your position regarding the MPN program too. I will discuss about that in a few slides, don't worry. So yes, good to know the certification. I wish you a good success about that if you need and get knowledge for sure. The famous question about the demo, about the trial, pardon me. Unfortunately, the answer is no. Microsoft doesn't offer to the indirect reseller, you, who goes through CSP distributor, us, any environment of any kind, test, sandbox, demo, whatever. But, however, from public trial, you still have access to a full Azure environment if you want. With a credit card, mobile phone, and email address, you are able to spin up a 30, a full trial, public trial subscription, and you have for first 30 days 200 USD dollar. So between you and me, for AVD or any other type of proof of concept for customer, this is a very good point of start. You will have enough time and money to spin up your environment and show to the end customer. I know, unfortunately, we are not able to change the nature of the subscription from there to us. I mean, if you spend time and effort into a public trial subscription, we are not able to migrate this subscription under CSP, under IT Cloud. But we are able to move resources and services. So if you don't want to lose your effort and your time, we are able to move, as I said, service and server, depending of which kind of. I'm here to help you about that for sure. But don't worry, the most of the time you don't lose all your investment. Second one, the MPN, the Azure benefit, depending of your level of agreement. You probably already have to some credit, some sponsorship about that. We will see it into the next slide. And for sure, I will take time to speak about Windows 365. This is the same thing. You have access to a CDX environment. Make me pleasure. Ask the question to our partner success team about that, Laura Teams. Everybody will be able to assist you with that to CDX environment, already pre-built environment, and MPN as well. The same thing, depending of your level of agreement, you probably already have some credits about that. Next one, the MPN program. Here I'm talking about that in addition of the margin offered by IT Cloud. I mean, there is the MPN program from Microsoft, the Microsoft Partner Network. So depending of your previous or current commitment, competency and or designation. As you can see from the draft, it's possible to get a certain of percentage of from Microsoft for 10 to 15% about that. So for more information, we invite you to contact our Director of Partner of Success, Majida. So here you already have the email address in the screen, or Sylvain already shared the email address in the chat. So don't be shy, just ask a question, and Majida will be happy to give you hands about that. And here we are. This is probably the last slide of the presentation. So the appointment number 3, design of a demo environment for AVD. Here we are. If you want, next appointment will be one-to-one. It will be a personal 90-minute of appointment. The deal about that is I will help you to spin up a subscription, the method or the model as you want, as you need. We will spin up the subscription, we spin up the server. When I left you, you will be connected. I will show you the backup. I will show you the reserve instance, depending on subscription for sure. And at the end, I will share you the one pager we already done with the Microsoft department teams. A kind of one pager with some bullet to don't forget nothing about the AVD when we play with the AAD joint. So this is the most popular pattern. So we don't go so deep, but we play with some line to don't forget anything. As I said, the most of the time the reseller start the engine from this point and just add some information, screenshot, and do it more bulletproof. So it could be great for you to get this kind of information. So make me pleasure, scan the QR, click on the link, and select an appointment as your convenience. When you are ready, I will be there to assist you with pleasure as usual. So here we are. Probably really the last one, the evaluation. Please, we need to understand how the session was useful for you. We need to get your feedback. We need to understand what you need to see, what you don't understand, or another thing. So don't be shy to let us to know how you see that, how you understand that, and how I can just do better myself about that for the next presentation. And voila, this is really the last one. Sylvain, you still there? Do we have any question today?
Yes, I'm there. We had a very good question.
Yeah.
Someone was asking, what about a user using OneDrive on an Azure Virtual Desktop virtual machine? Is the syncing traffic from OneDrive on that local, well, that VM considered internet egress?
Yep. Okay. About internet egress. Yes and no. This is a good question. Yeah. So, from Microsoft perspective, when you push data from AVD subscription under Azure to the internet, you are supposed, yes, to pay about that. So you move data from Azure to the internet, but in some time we have some exception regarding that. So honestly, I need to back check myself just to be sure. Maybe just take a note about who is asking about that. I just need to verify something just to be sure. I don't want to be wrong, just to be sure.
Okay, it's
And
in the chat. Okay.
yeah, okay, perfect. And I don't remember if I already covered that about. Remember, Sylvain, do I already talk about the OneDrive Sync tool about it previously? I don't think so.
And I don't
So
think so either.
yeah, the point is this is a recommendation. So when we play with the AVD regarding OneDrive Sync tool, Dropbox, and other stuff like that, and the OST file too, when you synchronize the OST from Outlook, could be not a good point from AVD perspective. I mean, the OST file lets you play with Outlook offline. You are already connected to AVD, so this is no making sense. And you know what? You consume space on your hard drive. So make me pleasure. Don't activate the OST synchronization from Outlook. At least maybe few weeks for specific people where they work a lot and hard from research from Outlook could be a great idea. But for the majority of the user, don't play with that. This is the same thing from OneDrive Sync, Dropbox, and other tool like that. All the sync tool is probably not a good idea. I mean, when we sync the data over the sync tool, you are already connected to internet. You are already on the web. So imagine the speed from AVD network to the OneDrive and SharePoint. So you don't have any advantage to synchronize. And let you imagine when you have 10, 15 user, when all those sync tools decide to start and synchronize in the same time. Imagine the network card. It will be hard. So yes, as I said, please don't configure that. And those recommendation is into our one pager. When I show you how to do that with the one pager, I already have note about that.
Okay. Yeah, I think the question was a valid one because OneDrive being a Microsoft tool, technically you're staying within the Microsoft ecosystem, but it's still going to be considered internet egress traffic.
Yes, this is so a good question. As I said, I need to back check just to be sure. I will come back for this question for sure. This is so a good one. Thanks a lot.
Are there any other questions from anyone?
Hmm, great, perfect.
All right. Well,
So, yep.
yeah, go ahead, Sebastian.
No, yeah, go ahead, Sylvain.
All right. I was just going to say thank you very much, Sebastien, for your presentation, for sharing all that content with us, and thank you everyone for attending and putting your trust in us by giving up, your precious time. We certainly hope that we were able to meet your expectations. And once again, do not hesitate to contact us if you ever have any questions. We're here for you.
Okay, again, thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks a lot, Sylvain. So I hope you will see into the next presentation. So take care. Bye bye now.
All right. Thank you. See you, everybody, on the next one.